Hey guys, we're gonna get started. Happy Monday. We have a really freaking exciting call tonight, and I cannot wait to introduce our guest speaker. Hopefully, you guys have all been taking advantage of launch day. I know it's definitely been a long day of Energize. Someone's sharing their screen, and hopefully, you guys are just like changing so many lives, hyping this up so much because you have to leverage these launches. They have the ability to just change your business, boost your business so much, and really grab up that team cycle bonus. So before we get started, I want to recognize our people in Success Club. So every single week, we recognize the top 10 Success Club earners so far and the top 10 recruiters. So if you guys are on this leaderboard and you have points like this, make sure you're in Team Bite to Finish family and you're editing the document yourself. So make sure your coach gets you added to that. So it's only the 11th of the month, so we're only a third through with the month, which is crazy. So don't feel bad. There's still tons of time to change a ton of lives, especially because I know a lot of you guys were waiting to get your people signed up today. But as of right now, if you know any of these names, please shout them out in the chat because it's freaking amazing that they're already here with some of these numbers. At the very top of our Success Club leaderboard with Success Club 60, Amanda McGuire, what a G. Freaking amazing. 38, Amanda, why do I always do that? Amy Rada. 34, Sammy Glonick. 24, Carly Lindor and myself. 14, Katie Roser and Taylor Ricker. And then tied for Success Club 12 is Cassie Bilt, Kelly Walker, and Hannah Ittis. You guys are amazing, and I'm so proud of you all. I know those numbers are only going to climb, and for those of you guys that aren't yet on that board, I know you guys are going to get on that board. So make sure you edit your points and get you shouted out next week. Next are top recruiters. So these are people that are adding to their team. Again, these people are adding to the team already just a third way into the month. It's insane. At the top, Amanda McGuire, 22 new coaches. What? Okay, that's insane. After her is 14, Sammy Glonick. 10, Amy Rada. 6, myself. 5 new coaches, Carly Lindor, Taylor Ricker, Cassie Bilt, and Aaliyah Vischer. And then also we have 4 new recruits for Katie Roser, Samantha Ioha, and Leanna Soward. So congrats to you all. You guys are freaking amazing and blowing me away every single day. So anyways, I'm going to get to our guest speaker. Going to give her a little intro. Ashley Feldeisen and I met officially in Mexico at the Elite Party, and it was really cool to see her and then realize that holy crap, we're actually really similar, and we started talking a little bit more after the trip, and we have like the exact same goals, same vision, and so we've just kind of been masterminding together. It's been really cool getting to know her, and I can't wait to hear from her tonight. So she is a retired first grade teacher, so she coaches full-time. She is a 6-star diamond, but she's currently in 7-star quals. She is an organization leader on the leadership ladder. She's a Success Club 10 legend, which means that she's hit at least Success Club 10 for 24 plus months in a row. She is currently the number 13 coach in the whole freaking network. That is insane. She's a 6-figure earner, and she's already locked in Elite. So the way that Elite changed this year, you can actually become an Elite coach before the end of December, which is awesome because that alleviates all the stress we used to have at the end of the year. So without further ado, girl, I'm going to unmute you and let you take it away.
Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay. So so like Jamie said, I'm a retired first grade teacher. So in true teacher form, I'm going to share my screen with you because I made a PowerPoint. Can you guys see that? Yeah? Okay, awesome. So I'm going to be talking to you guys about helping others see themselves in your story. And I'm so passionate about this because this is honestly the foundation that my coaching business has been built on, because I truthfully was a completely lost teacher and grad student. And I was able to see myself in my coach's story so much that she showed me what I was capable of. And so I'm going to share a little bit about who I am. If you guys want to follow me, my Instagram handle is Feldeisen on Instagram. I don't post much on Facebook. So that's definitely where to follow me. But I picked up my entire life in May of 2013. Yeah, 2013. I picked up my entire life the day after graduation in college, and I moved to where I live now in Baltimore. I grew up in Rochester, New York, moved to be with my boyfriend in Baltimore where he lived. We'd been together all throughout college, and finally this long distance relationship was ending and I was moving into his parents' basement. And I was so excited. I got there, I knew there was teaching jobs. I wanted to be a teacher my entire life. Like, I was the poster woman for teaching. I never changed my mind once. I wanted to be a teacher through and through. I was growing up and my mom took care of my mentally challenged uncle. I've never known anything without him. He's basically like my brother. And as I was learning to read and write, I was bringing those things home to him, and I was teaching him how to read and learn how to read and write. And so I've always really craved that growth. Being able to, literacy was always my thing. I wanted to help children learn how to read. And so forever, for elementary school to middle school to high school, I never changed my mind. I wanted to be a teacher. I barely passed high school. I was like the world's worst student ever. I hated it. I hated school. I hated testing. I hated stress, anxiety. I had chronic migraines. I, just really didn't like school. So I got to college by the skin of my teeth. I ended up getting through college. I partied a ton. I didn't know who I was. I was like that classic, party girl, snooky, black hair, super tan skin. I was her. I did terrible in my classes. And it wasn't until my junior year of college when Tyler and I started dating, and he showed me that he could love me. And I'd never been in love before. He was my very first boyfriend I ever had. And it kind of helped me start loving myself. And so that was really the beginning of my health journey, my wellness journey. So we were together for 2 years in college. And then after graduation, I picked up my life. I did graduate. I picked up my life and I moved it down here to be with him. And I was living with his parents. And the stress of going from living on your own for 4 years and then moving in with his parents, and then the stress of trying to find a job, the stress of just enrolling in grad school because I wanted to be a reading specialist. It was just taking over my life. And I was allowing the chaos of my life to totally cloud. I had to turn my heater off. Cloud who I was as Ashley. And so I gained an incredible amount of weight. I lost myself and my cup was just empty. It was broken. It was bruised. And I needed something. And I know we always say that we needed something, but I really did. I needed an outlet. I didn't need anything more on my plate, but I needed an outlet. So on Instagram, I had been following my coach, who had happened to be my childhood friend. And she was just sharing. She was transparent. She was showing me every single day what I was capable of. But it wasn't until February. It was the night after Tyler's birthday. It was a Sunday night. And we were laying in bed and I saw this post of her. She had this powerful post, and it was a photo of her before 21 Day Fix, and then a photo of her 2 rounds into 21 Day Fix. And I looked over at Ty and I was like, babe, she looks like me on the left and I need to look like her on the right. And I don't need to, but I want to look like her on the right. And I sent her a message. She never messaged me. I sent her a message, and I had to wait 3 weeks until payday because I only got paid every month. But I waited and I signed up, and right away, it was 9 days in, I was losing weight. I was feeling incredible. And she's like, Ash, your passion deserves to be spread. And I always tell my girls, I say, it's not another something on your plate. It becomes your outlet. The more passion you pour into it, the more passion you want to pour into it. And that's how I look at my health journey. And that's how I look at this business. I don't feel like I work. I know all of you guys probably feel the same way, but sometimes I sit here and I'm like, I freaking love this. I don't know how on earth I do know how on earth, but it's crazy that we were blessed with such an incredible opportunity where we just look around and make 6 figures for sitting in this beautiful office that, this life that we are creating. And so I just because I was able to see myself in my coach's story. And that's what we do every single day. We pour our hearts out, we are transparent, and we allow the other Ashleys, the other, whose names do I see? The other Jamies, all of you guys, the other yous of the world to see themselves in your story. And so that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. Okay. So don't skip out on your own story. I was the type of person where I was so afraid to share the things about me. I was so afraid to tell people that I was raised by my mentally challenged uncle and my mom worked 3 jobs. I was like ashamed of these things that made me me. I was afraid, to tell people that, like, all of these things. I was afraid to even share my before photo that I had reached 200 pounds and felt the most disgusting I've ever felt in my life. But I had to understand that I needed to be her in order to be who I am today. And I have to show the other Ashes of the world that they have to be exactly where they are today in order to progress and create that growth. And so I think the beauty in this business is that we so often get upset when somebody tells us no, but every single person goes through a different season of their life and of their lives. And I think that every single no, it's truly not the right time for them, because there was a point in my life where I would have said no to Caitlin over and over and over again. But right in that moment where I saw her transparent post was the exact season that I needed this to be introduced to me. And you have to be in that exact spot. So you just got to show up. I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm an analogy queen. I'm going to talk a little bit on my last slide about the 2 different types of people you really have in this business. But guys, if you plan on just like quitting in 3 months, if you don't have success, you've got to get out of that mindset. You've got to be here for the other youth of the world. You've got to stick around. My first year was tough, but I knew every single day that when my head hit the pillow at night, I was bettering myself through this business. Some months I would barely hit Success Club and I would just make a couple dollars a week. But I knew every single night that when my head hit that pillow, I was bettering myself through this opportunity. And if you hold on to that, belief instilled in your core, you're not going anywhere. And over time, you're going to wake up and 3, 4, 5, 1 year from now, and you're going to look back and you're going to look at this giant mountain you've created, and it's just going to blow you away. You're going to be running massive team calls like this of your own, and it's a really cool feeling. Okay, so don't skip out on your own journey. What makes you you is your absolute superpower. And exactly, our job is to not talk to everybody on the planet. It's to hone in on those people who need to hear our voices. And you'd rather have 500 followers of people that you freaking connect with than 16,000 followers of people who don't give a crap when they post your photo, when they pass your photo. Focus on the content of speaking to your tribe and not just talking to everybody. So asking yourself, these are just a couple questions I think of when I was going through my Instagram. Where do you come from? And what I mean by that is, like, what's your past? What's parts of your past that you feel comfortable sharing? Even things that make you uncomfortable sharing, but you know that if you feel that way, other people feel that way as well. So personally for me, I know my past was that I struggled through high school and college I barely passed my classes, my courses. I flunked out quite often. That's a part of my past was really sore for me for a while, but I got it out there and I realized how many other people felt that way. Or, that I was a teacher and I thought my entire life that this is it for me. And then I got there and I looked around and I'm like, this is it? Like, this is my forever? And it hurt. And it took me a long time to come to peace. It took me a long time because my mom, I didn't want to make her upset because she knew I was like the first person in our family to graduate from high school or from college and get a degree. And I was so nervous to come clean of those things, but that's my story. So anything, anywhere that you're coming from, anything in your past, what makes you you? What are some like silly antics you do? Like, I think the most successful coaches in this business are the ones who come on Instagram stories are the best thing on the planet. But I think the most successful coaches are the ones who just are not weird, but just not afraid to be themselves. Like, come on. And that's exactly how you're going to attract your tribe. That's why they're successful, because they're showing their quirks and their antics and their personality, that they're that light. They're that light. They're lighting up their 10-foot zone, and people want to attract to that. The best quote I ever heard was, people want to join the people who know where they're going. Like, be that person on your Instagram that you don't care where anybody else is going, but you know where you're going so much that people want to follow you. Okay. Who were you pre-Beachbody? like I said, I was a full-time first grade teacher, part-time grad student living in my boyfriend's parents' basement. I had an empty cup. I talk about that all the time because you never know who's going to newly follow you. You don't know, who's going to see your story that one time. Share your story so often. Share who you were, because exactly who you were, more times than not, who you were is going to be exactly who you attract to your challenge groups, to your coaching opportunities. In 2016 was like my first real year of coaching. I was like hobby coach throughout 2015. And in 2016, I wanted anything, any warm body. I wanted anything that I could attract. And I know you hear this often. Don't be like that. Don't just want to attract everything. I would try to find these perfect people. I would try to find like the perfect version of me, like these yogis and these like acai bowl lovers and like these, just like all of these people that I wanted to become. But I wasn't there yet, nor I don't think I'd ever be there. That's not who I am. But that's who I wanted to attract, because I knew those type of people could sell. I knew those type of people were already into health and fitness, but I couldn't relate to them. So I'd get them in the door and then they'd leave before I could even finish training. I'd get them in the door and we'd have no connection, no spark, and then they'd leave. The second I realized that I needed to be myself on social media, the second that I needed to speak my truth on social media, share my true story, was when I started to get those other broken, not broken people, but those other people who really needed an outlet, needed something more. And so that was the second that I started creating in 2017. I really honed in on who I was speaking to, and that was my foundational year to now grow a successful business on top of. And so really speak your truth on social media. You're never going to know. If you like make a post and set it down and you're like, oh my God, butterflies, like, oh, this is so scary. I bet you're going to get at least one person to connect with it. And that's all that matters. If you make a post and you just get one person who messages you guys, that's worth it. It is so worth it. That's what we're doing it for. We're not doing it for the sale. We're doing it to change at least just one life at a time. Okay. Why did you need something like this? Talk about why. People want to know emotions. I always tell my girls, stop narrating and start talking about emotions and experiences. Like, you just did your workout. You just did that. I'm drinking my Shakeology. I'm eating my salad. Awesome. But that's not going to sit with people. That's not going to change a life. They want to know where you've been, what emotions you went through to get to where you are today. Talk about that. Talked about what you needed pre-Beachbody. And I'm going to keep talking about, just kind of give you guys examples, but like, I needed an outlet. I needed somebody to basically be my cheerleader. I needed my coach Caitlin to tell me what to eat, when to eat it, and when to work out, and just make it simple for my busy life. And so simplicity was what I needed. And so that's who you're going to attract. When whatever you needed, more likely than not, you're going to attract that person. So talk about it. What was your first impression? Talk about your first impression. Whenever I get an objection, I'm like, me too, girlfriend. Like, or like if somebody doesn't like Shakeology, I'm like, I know it was so gritty at first, but hey, I'm going to share my favorite recipe with you, and I promise you're going to like it. Or first impressions, like, oh my God, I fell in love with 21 Day Fix. It changed my life. Just always having positive things to say about these programs and these products, and share and relate and share what you felt at the beginning. Share what your days look like. So I love going back to who I was as a teacher, as a busy teacher. I commuted an hour. I taught. Then I commuted an hour to grad school 3 nights a week, and then I commuted an hour home. It was a triangle. I was so busy, but I knew that I wanted out of that life so bad that I was willing to go home and bust my butt to get out of it, and then do it again the next day, because I had that vision. And I'm going to talk about vision in a second. But share what your days look like. Share that busy is not your superpower, and don't allow them to give you that objection. If you guys squash things publicly, consistently, whenever you get an objection, that better be in your notebook and planning a post that next week. Busy, broke, not in perfect shape, this, that, another thing, doesn't know enough people, the market's already saturated, all of these things, all of these objections you're getting, put it in your notebook, let it marinate in your head, create a post out of it, something that you think back, okay, did Ashley pre-Beachbody need to hear something like this? Because you're going to squash these objections publicly. Your invites are going to go much smoother. You're going to get to a point where you're just not getting as many objections, okay? So share what your day looks like and make sure busy isn't their superpower. And then where are you going? I am the biggest dreamer ever, and this business has helped me be. I never used to be. I would like dream. I just knew that as at a capped income of me and my boyfriend both making this simple income, both of us together making like less than what you could even survive on in Maryland, right outside of DC we live. And we just couldn't dream. I would like think about the things I'd want, like my dream wedding and my dream vacation to this, that, to these places. But I never actually put myself there because my teaching income would never get me there. This business allows us to dream, and we have to share that. We have to share that we have an opportunity, that the sky is the limit. I always pick, here's my analogy. Picture yourself in a little like hut, little sheltered hut. This was me in teaching. This was me and my boyfriend who was an electrician, decided to go back to electrician now that he has a freedom because he really does enjoy it. But we were living these like okay jobs. Our mindsets were just stuck. We couldn't dream of these major things. And then Beachbody came into our lives, and I realized something so much bigger. I was able to pack my bags and move into this like ceilingless mansion where I could finally dream. You mean, wait, I can have my dream wedding to, have my dream vacation to Bora Bora, my dream honeymoon to Bora Bora. Like now we're planning to move next year into the most beautiful, like we're just planning to move on the Chesapeake Bay somewhere where I could have never done that on a teaching salary. But because this opportunity came into my life. And so I'd love to share those things all the time, letting them know that my $80,000 worth of college debt that would have sat on my chest for the rest of my life is now almost cut in half because I'm able to put so much freaking money away. And just sharing those things, letting them see themselves in your story, letting them see where they could be if they just stay consistent in this journey. Okay. So now with those things, you want to start breadcrumbing. You want to start breadcrumbing these throughout your posts. And so when I say breadcrumbing, I actually got this, I think I got this from Bonnie Engel. I never went through one of my own coach's training. I taught myself everything that I know on YouTube. So I like all these videos melt together. I remember it was so funny. In the beginning of 2015, I was like obsessed with Melanie Mitro. I didn't know who she was at the time. I just remember she was this like young mom in her basement teaching, like she always used her hands, and she was like in the corner of her basement training. And then that year I went to Summit. My coach like dragged me to Summit, and I was like, I know her. That's Melanie Mitro. Like I always watched her trainings. But I always tell my girls, like, if you want to know something, go on YouTube. Don't wait for me to answer the question. Go on YouTube, watch millions of videos and figure it out, because I promise you there is so much content and knowledge over there. But breadcrumbing your posts. I like to say there's 5 things that you should consistently be talking about on Instagram. Now, Beachbody, so health and wellness, not using the term Beachbody, but health and wellness, or whatever, this business and your journey means to you. Sorry, I should probably close out my Facebook. That should be one piece of your 5, and then having the other 5 things balanced evenly. If we were to just go on social media, especially as a new coach, go on social media and hide behind the brand of Beachbody, we would be shut out right away. We would be shut out by these people who are like, oh, it's just another person. Don't lose yourself and hide behind the brand of Beachbody, okay? So find those 5 things that make you you. This is one of the things I make my girls do right from the beginning. So I'm a dog mom through and through. Like if you follow me, you know what my dogs look like, because I'm obsessed with them. They're like my children. Dog mom, fashion, makeup, all of those type of things. Love to travel, and then food. Did I ever say food? Food, and then health and wellness. And so those are the 5 things that I'm consistently talking about on my social media, but not allowing Beachbody to take the front seat. Of course, on days like today, when it's like launch day and we're talking about it all day long, you will talk about it a little bit more often, but really breadcrumbing those other pieces of your life in, because you want to connect with these people on a much deeper level. People won't be able to just connect with the fact that you're in your basement doing your workout. Let them fall in love with your dog. Let them fall in love with the fact that you have incredible dinners to share every night. Let them fall in love with the fact that you have great makeup tips and fashion tips and online shopping tips, or, this, that, or another thing. Let them fall in love with those things, and then see on the back end that there's a kick-ass girl, a guy, if there's any guys on here, on the back end that is crushing their journey, that they are busy as hell, but they're getting it done each day because busy isn't their superpower. And they have cute dogs and, you know, they're fashionable and this, that, and another thing. Let them fall in love with it all, but don't saturate it just with health and fitness. Okay, so here are some ideas of different type of posts that you can create based on, you know, your story. So health, obviously, talk about health. Don't just talk about fitness, guys. Talk about where you're coming from. Where were you a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, last week? Talk about these things consistently. Your health is that one thing that you will be with for the rest of your life. Whenever I get somebody tell me, you know, I can't, I just paid my car payment, or, oh, I can't, you know, I just bought my Louis Vuitton. Not that I've ever had anybody say that, but realistically, spending $200 at Target, like, guilty, right? I always say, girlfriend, I know it's so easy to spend like quick money at Target, but if you're going to invest in anything, it should be your health, no matter what, because that's what's going to be with you until, and I don't say all that stuff, but I always say, if you're going to invest in anything, it should be your health. And it always is, they're always kind of like, huh, yeah, you're right. And they're not like, oh, you're right, you know, let me order. But it's the one thing that I leave them with. So the next month they come around and it's, you know, I said that to them, or they see my post and then I squash a public objection and talk about, you know, if you're going to invest in anything, it should be your health. So just talking about that, also talking about the fact that however long ago, 3 years ago, $140 to start your health was scary. But I think I made a post today about how I spent $140 basically to change my life. And if you would have told me that I'd be where I am today, 3 years later, I would have spent like $50,000 on it. Little things like that, just to help them see what they're capable of in your story. Community posts. These are all things that go into this journey so much more than weight. Guys, community, being on a call like this, how lucky are we to be able to come home and just have, like, my team calls are my favorite night of the week, just being able to see my coach's eyes and when they get off a call, those messages that I get pour in, the community growth, the ability to share something so much bigger than ourselves with a community. You know, having a challenge group push you, support. It changed my life. You got to share that, guys. Whatever that community has done for you, consistently share it, because you have no idea how bad Sally down the street needs support because her spouse doesn't give it to her, or her mom is mean to her because she's overweight and she needs to hear that from you. Money posts. Even if you made $25 a week, even if you made $80 last week, what did it do for you? Share that, because there are so many moms, there's so many teachers, there's so many nurses, there's so many people out there that $80 will take them out of the red and help them, you know, do something with their lives. So share those things. Travel posts. I get more people sign up with me when I'm traveling than I do when I'm home, because I have so many people I'm 25, so many young people who would love to go on free trips, like sharing when you go to Summit, sharing when you go to Mexico, sharing when you go to Super Saturday. People love that kind of stuff. Share, you know, where you're going next year. Share all the time. Like, I'm having a diamond retreat and I share it once a month because I want other girls to be there. And I know other Ashleys who love to travel are going to be attracted to that. Okay. And I also share how I used to never travel. I share how I've never been out of the country until Beachbody took me to Punta Cana last year. That was my first time ever leaving the country. And so I want to show them that type of thing because I know so many other people feel that way. And then recognition. That is one of my favorite parts about this business, is that I could have been the very best teacher in my school. I could have been the very best teacher in my district, but because it was just, you know, it was just corporate America, you know, we'd never be recognized for that. We'd never be paid more for that. Maybe we get a pat on the back, but most days not even that. But in this business, we get recognized. We have the ability to recognize people. We have the ability to climb up the rankings and thrive. And so share that kind of stuff too, because people want that. I talk to more people every day who are like, as soon as I sign a coach, I ask them what they're motivated by, and almost all of them are motivated by recognition, because we don't get that. All right, and using your stories to relate. So this is just personally things that I love to share, because I know the other me's of the world, you know, can relate to this. My schedule. Obviously, I don't leave my house much now, but when I was a teacher, I used to, and I share this quite often, I used to wake up at 4 a.m., run to my basement, which is my gym commute, work out, drive an hour, work, drive an hour home, or on school days, I'd drive an hour to grad school, and just let them know that, hey, this is my life. For those of you who are working full time now, this is a great opportunity for you to pair up with the other working people, to show them your life is crazy. I have so many teachers and nurses. I attract so many teachers and nurses on my team who work insane hours, but they get other teachers and nurses because they are showing them what they're capable of. Share your schedule all the time, okay? Share your dreams. You've got to show them where you're going. You've got to show them that you're not in this for the money. You're not in this for the points. You're not in this for the this, that, or another thing. You're in this because it's going to take you somewhere further. Whether you never want to quit your job, and that's okay. I have a ton of girls who don't want to quit their job. And I always tell them, like, just because I did doesn't mean you have to. But what is it affording you? What is this opportunity giving you? Maybe your biggest dream is just be a part of something. Maybe your biggest dream is that you want to walk on stage in a ball gown, whatever it is. Personally, I want to own $1 million house on the Chesapeake Bay. I want to have a boat. I want to have my dream wedding. I want so many things, and you can't be afraid to share that with people because, like I said, people want to join the people who know where they're going. And if you know where you're going, that's confidence, and people are going to attract to that light. Okay. A couple other things that I share. Fashion, people are going to relate to the other things other than Beachbody. So whatever your 5 things are, for me, I love fashion. I love shopping. I love online shopping. I share that quite often, and I get a lot of interaction from that. Kids and pets. Are you a mom? Are you a dog mom? Well, what does life look like as a mom? What are you capable of accomplishing even with 3 toddlers? What are you capable of accomplishing even with, I have 2 3-year-old dogs. And I have a lot of other women that I talk to on social media who work and then come home to their dogs. And I show them that, hey, you're capable of this. You are capable of doing this. And so whenever I get like the objection of, oh, I go to grad school, or, oh, I work, my job takes over my life and my girlfriend, I know the feeling of busy, but these programs are really made for busy people, for busy schedules. Would you have time for 30 minutes a day? And they're always like, yeah. I'm like, well, perfect. I'm basically going to make your meal plan for you, and you're going to have a trainer right in your living room. And just show them that you've been there. Show people that you've been there. Again, that's an objection. So if somebody tells you work is too busy, they can't, post about it next week. Post about how crazy work is sometimes, but when you get home, this is finally your outlet. This is your one time to focus on you, that mental clarity. Food, connect with people with food. And so food can be obviously healthy food. Every Friday night, me and my boyfriend do date night, and I don't eat very good, but consistently sharing that I eat ice cream all the time, sharing that I eat pasta and pizza, and I had the best lobster roll I've ever had in my life. Actually, it was the only lobster roll I've ever had in my life, but it was amazing. And sharing those things with them, sharing these realistic expectations of that when they start coaching or when they start this challenge group, they're not going to have to be this perfect person, that you're still going to eat ice cream on Fridays, and that you're still going to go on date nights, but hey, you're going to make these yummy dinners Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday that look incredible and taste incredible, and you're going to share that to show them what they're capable of doing, even after a busy day of work. And then mindset's so huge. Taking them through that journey of your thoughts and your emotional thinking pre-Beachbody, and then where it's come today. Sharing personal development consistently. I love sharing it with my challengers and sharing it with my social media, because it's not just meant for Beachbody coaches. Everybody needs personal development. And if you recommend an incredible audiobook or something to somebody, they're going to feel incredible, and they're going to come to you first, because now they're going to trust you. Okay, so remind them where you started. So I had a coach on my team say, I want to see Ashley's very first training video she ever made. And so this was my first training video I ever made for my team. And this was from 2015. And I pulled it up, and it's literally a video of me just stuttering, and I had no idea what I was talking about. I literally pushed play, and I just was like, hey, Ashley, just talk. And I think it might have been a team call. But you know what? I had to be her in order to be who I am today, in order to be the leader that I am today. And so I consistently show these to my coaches and show them that you're gonna grow as as you have experiences and as you have trials and as you keep trying these things. But you need to be exactly where you are right now, for not only for yourself but for the other yous of the world. They're gonna watch you change, and embrace that. Like, get on live and stutter and do your thing, be you, be your quirky self. Like, I really didn't love watching this video. I looked like I just rolled out of bed, but it made me who I am today. It made me able to show up on a video and get better as time went on. So remind your followers, remind your team where you started, and then remind them where you're going. And this goes for your team too. Even if you have one person on your team, even if you have no people on your team, guys, you've got to show them how to dream. You have got to show your team how to dream. You've got to show your followers how to dream, because in a life where it's so traditional and we're so boxed in these tiny sheltered huts, get out of that. Let's just show them what we're capable of accomplishing through network marketing. Network marketing is a business. Like Ruth said the other day on the team call, her friend just had to look at her and said, Ruth, just treat it like a business. And that's the second that she made it a business. If you guys truly treat this like a business, you show up like a business. You don't break promises with yourself. You show up, you wake up, you get up, you do the things you need to do. You treat yourself like you're your own boss. You treat yourself as if you have to clock in, you have to clock out, you have to collect a paycheck. I made this post the other day on my team page, and I said, would you collect $100 a week or would you be somebody's assistant for $100 a week to send 100 invites each week? And I had almost everybody say yes. They probably thought I was like promoting something. And I said, well, why aren't you doing that yourself? You can literally guarantee that you're going to make $100 a week if you send 100 invites that week. But why do we resist that? Because we're our own boss. We break promise with ourselves. We are the first person to break a promise with ourselves. You break promise with yourself. I break promises with myself. It's this subconscious thing that we have to consistently wake up and remind ourselves that you're going to be with you from day one to day, however long you live for. You should be the last person you're breaking promises with. And you've got to shift that. And your business will be so successful once you realize that, because I realized that and I said, game the F on. Ashley, you're going to wake up and you're going to do the things to get you there, or you're going to get off the pot. Because I wasted my whole first year. It was either shit or get off the pot, and I decided to hustle and stop breaking promises with myself. So you have to make that decision. So show them where you're going. Like my dream wedding, I love talking about my dream wedding, money. I want 900 beagles in my backyard. Bora Bora, my dream house. Like, I'm a dreamer. People want to join the people who know where they're going. So just show them that you're going somewhere. Talking really fast. Okay, and then the very last thing I want to leave you guys off with is an analogy, naturally. I heard this analogy from Brittany Leggett, and some of you might have heard it before, but there are really two people in this business. And picture this well, and picture this man. He walks up to the well, and in order to create that water, in order to get that running water out of it, you have to start pumping. You have to start pumping the well, pumping the well, pumping the well. And so I want you to look at this pumping as a symbol of you starting your business. You have to start pumping hard at first, through sharing your journey, through starting and progressing, getting progress, sending invites, building relationships, showing up, being that light for people. You're pumping, and even though you're not seeing this momentum build, even though you're not changing all these lives, and you're not getting all these coaches, you are building that momentum underground, just like this man pumping his well. The water is pumping underground, even though he can't see it, but that's the time where you need to pump harder. Hustle, share your journey, invite like crazy, fall in love and share that like wildfire, keep pumping. And now one day, all of a sudden you get one droplet. This man, he gets one droplet. Let's look at this droplet is you change your first life, you get your first coach signed. And so there are two different types of people in this business. One person will look at this droplet and they will say, what the hell? I just pumped that long and that hard for that. So they'll pump slower. They'll pump slower and slower until not at all, and they quit. But then you have this person in this business who sees that one droplet and they are like, game the hell on, and they pump harder and pump harder and pump harder. And that's the time you need to hustle even more. You created that momentum. Now it's time to continue building that momentum and going from successful 5 to then successful 10 each month to 20 to 50, because all that momentum is growing. But you can't pump slow Monday through Tuesday and then pump hard Friday and Saturday and then go back to pumping not at all. It has to be consistency. It has to be you not showing up when you feel like it. It has to be you showing up every single day, so that you're building trust with people, proving to them that you're going to show up to them every single day, not just when you feel like it. That trust, like, we wish that we could give you this hidden ingredient to growing a successful business, but you ask any top coach, it's trust, consistency, and passion, and sharing them like wildfire and doing them on the days where you don't want to, doing them every single day, at least 6 days a week, over and over and over again. All right, that's all I got for you guys.
Oh my gosh. So good. So freaking good. If you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat, even if you asked earlier. So I love what you said about just like share your dream, share your vision, because it's like people are going to go with you. And like you said, like you love talking about travel, and then you attract your Ashleys because they're like, I want to travel. I want to be on her next trip. I think it's so important because it's just like we sometimes get, especially when you're a new coach and you're so excited, you just want to like vomit Beachbody all over. And it's like, you need to share your story. You need to have those things that actually bring people into you so that you can tell them about Beachbody after you've already connected. We were just talking about that in my new coach mentorship today, because it's so hard because they're so excited to share what's changing their life now. But like, what are the other things that you have to offer to like share with that? Seriously, just so good. And I think just speaking your truth, I also laughed out loud when you said that you asked your team, okay, well, who wants to do 100 invites for $1 per invite? They're like, me, assistant. And you're like, no, go do that. Okay, so good. Okay, so someone had asked, how did you share your before Beachbody without it looking like one of those attention hungry posts? I want to be genuine in posts like that, but I'm worried of people thinking it's a story. Oh, you're muted again. Okay, sorry.
Wait, am I good?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is probably one of the hardest things to really get over, is the fact that you're not being salesy, and you have to believe that. The second you think you are, you're going to be. You have to believe in your core that this opportunity changed your life, and that you know that it's going to change other people's lives. And don't name drop. You're not don't say you're a Beachbody coach. Don't say you're started at Lift 4. Don't say, you fell in love with Aided Obsession. Just like I love my Lululemon and I love my Fabletics and I love, Tarte Cosmetics. I'm going to share those things whether I'm promoting them or not. Share this as just as equally. Don't throw up about it, but just share it. This changed your life. You want to spread that passion to your loved ones because you want their lives to be changed as well. You need to show up and just do that. And when you get it out of your head that you're being cheesy, you won't be. And the people are going to filter themselves out, and the right people will filter themselves in.
So I think you do a really good job on your stories of just sharing your entire day. Like what you're saying, you share your workouts and your dogs. And then it's like people come to you because they're like, I need to see what they're doing. And then your food. Like these are all things like when you're saying that, I'm like, yeah, I see all those in your stories. So how did you decide that those were going to be like your things? And like, how do you stay consistent with that?
I kind of just think about the 5 things that either pop up in my head most or people know me for. So I always, whenever I am trying to create these 5 things for my coaches, I'm like, what do people know you for? And so like, what's the first thought you think of in the morning? That's probably going to be the thing you think of throughout the day most. That's going to be the thing you want to talk about most. Me, I think about instantly because I just always battled eating disorders. Oh my God, did I eat okay yesterday? I don't know why. It's just the first thing I think about. So that for me is something that I had to grow a stronger relationship with. Tftf mindset changed my life with that. And so I talk about health versus weight a lot. And obviously health is a big part of my life, but just like, what are the 5 things that pop up in your head? And then it's going to be so fluid for those 5 things to just kind of like translate into your story once you know what they are.
So good. All right, do you guys have any other questions for her? Everyone was like freaking out. I know you couldn't read the chat the whole time, but everyone was like, yes, yes, yes. I saw lots of like just head nods the whole time.
Good,
Doing
good.
that for a while.
Thank you.
No, so good. And I think too, don't let Beachbody take the front seat to your brand because we're so much more than just that. I think that's so important. One last question, tips for getting your team to dream.
Be a dreamer yourself. And it's hard, obviously, when you have a much larger team, but once you get like those emeralds racing for diamond and those ones who really want to work your business, I love just getting on a call with them and just letting them spill out where they want to be. And I also start that dreaming from day one. I have like my first day training that they do is just like vision and mindset. Where do you want to be? What can you accomplish if you had no limits? And then they just kind of like spill it all out. But they wouldn't be like that if they didn't see me being like that and the other girls being like that. So just, always sharing where you're going, sharing what you crave at the beginning of every week, just kind of like, and without even like asking them questions, without being like, what are your goals for this week? You share your goals, you share your goals for the year, you share how excited you are to have, your $1 million home or whatever your goals are. It'll soon trickle down into them, and then your team one day you're just going to be like, wow, these girls are really hungry, they want something much bigger than their current situation. But it's definitely a ripple effect.
So good. You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you guys so much for hopping on. I'll get this recording up tomorrow morning. But thanks again, Ashley. You were awesome.
Bye guys, good night.
Have a good night, guys.